It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So,
Right, you're watching First Sports here with me. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right, on the show today, Chennai succumbs to yet another defeat at the Indian Premier League, one of the worst starts to a season for them. And the real worry, though, is losses at home, a venue that has always been impenetrable fortress for them. Why is Chennai losing, even as Dhoni reveals his retirement plans? Pakistan cricketers are feeling the heat, the defeats are piling on, and it's getting too hot to be a Pakistani cricketer today. One of them got into a near physical altercation with a fan during the last game against New Zealand. Is there a silver lining in the Pakistan cricketing story? And speaking of flames getting snuffed out, the Manchester derby ended with a whimper, but fans were livid at the post-match lovey-dovey scenes between the two sides. Is the rivalry now dissipated, or is there more to this? All lined up for you today, but first a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket and the IPL, Hyderabad suffered their fourth loss of the season, this time to the Gujarat franchise by 7 wickets. Put into bat first, Hyderabad's power-packed batting lineup failed to put on a show. Mohammad Siraj's 4 wickets restricted them to 152. Gujarat captain Shubman Gill's 61 powered the one-time IPL winners to their third win in this edition. In other news from the tournament, struggling Mumbai got a major boost with India's pace sensation Jasprit Bumrah returning to camp. Bumrah, who got injured during the Border Gavaskar Trophy against Australia, joined the Mumbai side before their clash against Bengaluru. The 5-time champions have only won 1 game out of their 4. In football, Liverpool suffered a 2-3 loss to Fulham in their Premier League clash, despite Liverpool scoring first quick goals from Ryan Sessegnon and Alex Iwobi put Fulham ahead. Rodrigo Muniz scored the winner in the 37th minute. This is only Liverpool's second loss in 31 games this season. The Reds have an 11-point lead over second-placed Arsenal with 7 matches left to go. And over in Formula One, Red Bull's Max Verstappen won his first race of the season. The Dutch driver edged past McLaren duo Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri at the Japanese Grand Prix over the weekend. Despite the second-place finish, Norris is still top of the drivers' standings with a single-point advantage over Verstappen. In the constructors' standings, McLaren have a 36-point lead over Mercedes. And in boxing, Hitesh Gulia became the first Indian to win a gold medal at the World Cup. The 20-year-old claimed the title in the 70 kg event after his opponent Odell Kamara gave him a walkover. India sent a 10-member contingent to the tournament. 6 of them won medals. Abhinash Jamwal backed silver in the 65 kg event. 4 other boxers took bronze in other categories. IPL witnessed something they had not till date in all of their 17 years of the existence. Delhi breaching the Chennai fortress, beating the Super Kings at home. Chepauk has always been the insurmountable for many visiting sides. MS Dhoni from time immemorial has set one template, especially in matches at home in Chennai, and that's worked almost always. Spinning tracks, load up on the spinners, choke the opposition and win. Very rarely, almost never has that plan backfired until this season. And it's already happened twice now. So what's the problem here? Are the spinners in Chennai ranks not good enough, or is the plan simply past its sell-by date? Let me give you the full picture here. While this is just the start of the IPL and we have not even reached the halfway mark in the season, it has been one of the worst starts for Chennai in this tournament. Pretty similar to the one that they had in 2020, where COVID had struck and some of the players had tested positive. Before that, it had been a flawless run for them. It had thrown the team balance out of the window in 2020. They did not even make it to the playoffs that year. And the replacements just didn't work. MSD couldn't create a miracle despite the setbacks. That's what this season somehow feels like. But the truth is, they have the arsenal. They have some of the best spinners lined up. The young Noor Ahmed, of course, is leading the charge here. They have flamboyance in the batting lineup. But somehow they are just not melding together to create that very same magic that they're used to. They are trying to do what they have always been doing, but how are they forgetting that the personnels have changed over time? This is the most number of times that Chennai has made changes to their playing 11 in just 4 games. And yet they find themselves in the bottom half of the points table. The ones who are really calling the team out, though, are first and foremost the fans. Fans who've mostly seen this team only win. So this shaky start with no pandemic or natural disasters to put the blame on is suddenly new territory. And the pressure clearly is mounting on one cricketer, former captain MS Dhoni. It's weird calling him former captain even today, who ironically now has quashed all claims of calling it quits. In a podcast, he spoke about not retiring just yet, a thought that gained a lot of momentum when Dhoni's parents were spotted in the ground watching the match, which is a super rare occurrence.
I'm still playing the IPL, and 1 year at a time. I'm 43 by the end of this IPL season. I'll be 44 in July. So I have 10 months to decide whether I want to play one more year, and it's not me deciding, it's my body, whether you can play or not.
There are few words really that truly describe what MSD means to Chennai, not just the franchise. It's to the city, to its people, so much so that fans wouldn't even dream of anyone even thinking of MSD leaving the franchise or hanging up his boots. But the frustration and the incredulousness of watching the chaos unfolding in front of them, losing at home particularly, is surely hitting the fans hard. This is not something they've seen before, and somehow it feels like Chennai is still stuck in a bit of a time warp. That many other franchises who've struggled right from the auction table to the field and to the cricket matches in the past seem to have course corrected, and Chennai is probably continuing to do what they've always done in the past with success, but maybe it's time to change that lens completely now. MSD played his cricket and manned a ship and helmed affairs a certain way. With a new captain now and a different looking Chennai, maybe the strategies and the plans, just the way to execute all of this, it needs to alter too. And maybe that's what all fans are hoping and looking for them to do as well. Cricket in Pakistan has not recovered. While there were drastic changes made post the Champions Trophy and the series against New Zealand put that to test, the results have been just as appalling. A T20 series loss and a whitewash in the ODI series, only reiterating the calamity Pakistan cricket finds itself in. And while we have only been looking at the system and the infrastructure so far and how the board and the management has not been able to shape and mold this side, maybe it's time to also look at the players and how this is affecting all of them. Having lost the ODI series in the second match itself, the Pakistan cricket team were expected to play for pride in the final game of their tour. But the match ended up accomplishing the exact opposite. What happened at the Bay Oval has put Pakistan cricket once again under the spotlight. And it isn't just because Pakistan lost to the home side by 43 runs. The resistance to the Black Caps' dominance has been frugal and very meek. But something happened on the sidelines that has brought the turmoil in Pakistan cricket back to sharp focus. A player was involved in an ugly scuffle with a section of fans, and at the center of it, once again, a team member who wasn't even part of the playing 11. Khushdil Shah was standing at the ropes when he was confronted by a couple of spectators during the game.
Yes, indeed, and Ben Steers has taken a 5-wicket haul as well. So congratulations to him. He leads the team off. Here at Mayo.
The second such instance of a Pakistan player and a fan face-off in as many matches. In the second one day, it was Abrar Ahmed who was taunted for the Shubman Gill send-off that he had given him at the Champions Trophy. And while Abrar just ignored the taunt and walked away, Khushdil Shah decided to take matters into his own hands. The cricketer was involved in a heated clash there that nearly escalated into a physical blow-up. Shah attempted to climb over the fence with an intent to attack the fan, and if the security hadn't intervened, we would have had a proper fight to witness. So what happened there? Well, Pakistan Cricket Board claims it was the anti-Pakistan slogans directed to the team that really set the player off, also saying that the fans were Afghanis. Now, there are geopolitical tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan, so even if this episode is true, maybe such an incident is bound to take place. Nevertheless, cricketers, more so Pakistan cricketers by now, have seen enough of fans lashing out at them to know that the last thing to do would be to react or respond. Sure, the fan would have used abusive language, might have crossed the line, but maybe letting the security personnel deal with miscreants instead of becoming one was the way to go. Because once the Pakistan team lodged a formal complaint against the fans, they were ejected from the ground. Shah just had to do that earlier instead of trying to show who was boss there. Because now this isn't just about the abuses that were hurled at the Pakistan cricket team, but of the state Pakistan cricket finds itself in. Shah's altercation highlights that even the players are getting restless, with the failures only mounting on the field. ICC exits in first rounds from not one event but 3 back-to-back ICC tournaments is a new low for a country that has been the best at the sport, that has been world champions. And watching all this unfold, fans have been frustrated, former Pakistan cricketers are livid, the management just as clueless, the players, well, feels like they are just going through the motion. Despite being up against a B side, a B string side, this series, New Zealand was without many of their senior players like Kane Williamson, their regular captain Mitchell Santner in the shorter formats, without the firepower of a Devon Conway with the bat, a Lockie Ferguson with the ball, no young bloods like Rachin Ravindra to go up against them. Basically, Pakistan were playing a second-string New Zealand side and were yet humbled by the Kiwis, pretty much like a botched-up light failure at the stadium. Those are pictures from a light failure during the 39th over of the Pakistan run chase. The floodlights failed moments before the New Zealand pacer Jacob Duffy released the ball. Batting in complete darkness, Tayyab Tahir just about managed to evade the delivery and managed to avoid getting hit or injured. That pretty much sums up Pakistan cricket's foray into each tournament these last 2.5 years and pretty much their current state of affairs. Just about flailing in the darkness as criticism and severe backlash keeps coming their way. Just hoping and praying that their strategies somehow click and the team manages to pull off a win. A scenario that is both shocking and dangerous, all leading to a Pakistan team that's low on confidence and lacking any momentum, wherever they play, no matter who they're up against. If they really need to rise from the doldrums, someone needs to turn on the floodlights, turn on the switch, turn on the lights, as they say, and the switch of that lies in the hands of the Pakistan management. For the first time in over 3 decades, in a rare turn of events, both clubs from Manchester United and City had nothing to look forward to in the Premier League. The only excitement for fans was the derby clash, and even that turned out to be a drab affair. Where's the rivalry? Are both these marquee clubs losing their charm and sheen. On one end are the Red Devils, who are reeling in the 13th position in the points table, closer to a relegation zone than a top 4 finish. And on the other, Manchester City in 5th place, in and out of contention of qualifying for the Champions League. And what followed was a forgetful night with the scoreline reading a 0-0 draw, with the two clubs already seem to be looking forward to the next season.
All the teams, they are already in a place where we need a lot to catch them. We will start next season. We need to be so much better because this is a massive club, and I want to put that pressure on me and everybody here.
Fans were disappointed. It was a lackluster show, and what's more, the post-match scenes between the two sides and the players there triggered more outrage. This is not what derbies have represented. In fact, it is always the opposite. That's how it's been for years before this. But what all of us witnessed in Old Trafford over this last game was not a rivalry. It felt more like the scenes from a rom-com. Instead of feisty players, it was happy athletes who looked more in love with each other. That a 0-0 draw was okay. The fact that neither of them scored did not bother any of the players. Now, they were all right with the level of intent displayed on the field, which was the reason why former United players were left fuming after this encounter.
The best Man City and Man United teams would be very disappointed with the way they've approached the end of that game. It looks like it's Sunday afternoon and they're going to go for a roast dinner together now.
They get interviewed after as if a draw isn't too bad. I used to play against City years ago when they weren't a great team, but they'd get stuck into it and make it a derby game. It doesn't have that feel to it today.
Keane and Neville, these two players have been part of some of the most iconic clashes in the history of the sport. In fact, nobody better than Roy Keane understands it, because he potentially ended Erling Haaland's father, Alfie Haaland's career in one such derby. In 2001, Roy Keane famously tackled Alfie Haaland, resulting in a career-ending injury and Keane being sent off. Keane later admitted that it was no accident, but he intended to injure Haaland for real, a feud that started with Haaland attacking Keane in the previous game. And when the two sides came face to face again, Keane took that moment to show who was boss. And I'm not saying that was the right thing to do from the former United captain. In fact, what he did was pretty lousy, but it is moments like these that really build and stitch together a narrative of intense rivalry. This incident happened over 20 years ago, but still remains the poster image for all Manchester clashes, because the managers too took great pride in these fixtures. Rightly so. I'm not saying there is a need for angry clashes and injuries to make a rivalry more interesting and exciting. It can take place without the mini duels and clashes. But if the players are not feeling the intensity or the desire to win, is it even a rivalry anymore? The aberration only comes when the players are playing for the badge. Take Real Madrid and Barcelona in the early 2010s, for example. The two sides always walked onto the pitch looking for revenge. If we see Pepe and Lionel Messi displaying bromance right after the game, will it ever be El Clasico? Then how can we call the last fixture between Manchester City and United a derby? Even Everton and Liverpool's still live up to the Merseyside clash today. The last fixture between these two sides at the Goodison Park ended in a 1-1 draw, sure, but the passion fans and players showed during and after the match made it all very electrifying. Maybe with the falling standards of both the Manchester clubs, the two sides are content with a dull, goalless draw. Or maybe they're happy with the tag of being mediocre. Time for last serve. A Rugby Champions Cup game in France was delayed for half an hour because a paratrooper was stuck on the roof of the stadium while the parachutist wanted to land on the pitch. He was eventually rescued by a crane. Watch the bizarre incident unfold. That wraps it up here on Firstpost. I'll of course see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India. What we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.